Happy New Year. It's been a couple weeks, actually about a month since we've been on, so our hiatus is over. Welcome to the 218th episode of ATL Prime Sports. I'm JJ Jurjevich. Joining me this evening is my fabulous co-host up in Adairsville, the voice of your Rome Emperors, PA voice of your Rome Emperors. Larry Gardner joins me this evening, and my fabulous producer, Wayne Ridenauer, in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. You can catch us all at ATL Prime Sports on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. If you like the content, just interact with our videos. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a review on Apple or Spotify. Stick with us. We're pretty good guys. At JJ Get You One for my X, at RWY Junior for Wayne, at LG for real though for Larry Gardner, and at Corder Todd for TC Todd Corder, who is out this evening getting ready for a realtor meeting. How's everyone doing? Larry, how you doing, man?
Well, Happy New Year to everybody. We are doing very, very well. Thank you for asking. Excited about everything that's happening with the turn of the calendar year. Football playoff, college football playoffs coming to an end, getting ready to figure out who's going to be the champion of the college football world. The transfer portal wide open. College basketball is starting to get ready to get in the nitty gritty so you can figure out what March Madness is. It's a great time of year. Spring training right around the corner. I'm excited. This is one of my favorite times of years, man. Doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, trying to mess with my lighting here. Wayne, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Basketball season in Memphis has started here, and since the Memphis football team finished their bowl game, that's what everybody's focused on. And we have recently reached 500 in our overall record this year. And this on the 11th next, I guess it's this coming Sunday. We'll be down in Boca Raton playing the Florida Atlantic Owls.
Former Lane Kiffin School.
Yeah.
Remember that one? I'm doing well, had a good break, went down and saw Golf Cart Grammy, my mother-in-law, in the Villages, Florida, played some free golf at Arnold Palmer Legends Golf Course on Christmas Day, and then, we went hardcore. My youngest turned 3 right at the beginning of the break, so it was just a whirlwind of a break over here, but glad to be back, glad to be talking with our audience. And let's get into it. Lots happened, guys. What's on tap for today's show? David Walker and Evie Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk will join us, talking about the upcoming Verbo Fiesta Bowl versus the Miami Hurricanes. And we'll talk about the Falcons. They fired everyone. And, of course, the infamous Pick Six. We'll get into it right here on ATL Prime Sports. And, guys, let's get into it. Let's kick things off with that Falcons topic first. After an 8-9 finish, the Falcons cleaned house, firing Raheem Morris, general manager Terry Fontenot, and they moved Rich McKay to another position. Where do the Falcons go from here? Wayne, we'll get you involved first and right out the bat, man. You're a true Falcons fan, longer than Larry or myself. What's your thought on cleaning house, getting rid of Rich McKay included?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Because if you can't pinpoint the problem by, selectively replacing positions over the last few years like they have, I think it is time to do that. My only hope is that somehow they can reach some kind of deal with Steve Spagnuolo, but apparently his name has not been in the mix. I did hear, though, that the guy that used to be at Dallas may be a part of that. Have you heard anything about who may be coming in?
Yeah, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy.
Big time name. Kubiak, one of these offensive coordinators. You've heard Stefanski, who just got fired from Cleveland. We saw John Harbaugh just get let go from Baltimore. I think he would be my favorite for a guy, and that's just JJ Jurjevich throwing a name around there, but I think he would be a great fit here. I like Stefanski a lot, and I can't wait to hear what Larry has to say about this because he's been in turmoil before. He's taken Cleveland to the playoffs, won a couple playoff games with Cleveland. So he's been around turmoil. He's been around a franchise that typically doesn't win a lot. And I think maybe a second chance at that would be huge. So I like Stefanski here in Atlanta, but there's tons of moves. I love what we're hearing about Matt Ryan. Sure, it's a long shot that he comes in here and rips the cover off the football and tears it up like John Lynch did at the as the general manager in San Francisco. But I think it's very similar. Look, the guy just recently retired. He knows the players that are in the league. He knows this organization, obviously, one of the 2 or 3 best players that ever put on a Falcons uniform. So I think that is intriguing. We'll know more by that later this week if Matt Ryan does indeed get the job of president of football operations. Which the Falcons have never had a president of football operations. It's kind of a new position in this whole firing of things. So I like the new direction. I like that because they win 4 games in a row at the end of the year. They didn't, we're going to sit on our hands. We're going to go into the offseason with the momentum. I like that they pulled the trigger. I thought Raheem Morris did enough to keep his job, honestly, for one more year with all the turmoil, with turning the defense around in year 2, getting second in sacks in the NFL. You like all that stuff. But the in-game results, and you go back to 2 plays, the missed field goal and missed extra point, I believe, in week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you solve the kicking issues, you're probably in the playoffs. And then you can't go up to New York, a team that, if the result was flipped, they'd have the #1 overall pick in the NFL. You can't lose to the New York Jets late in the season like that when the season's on the line. So those were the type of things that I think lost Raheem Morris a job. Obviously, drafting Penix probably didn't help in the way Penix worked out over the last 2 years. Injury prone and only 12 starts in a handful of years. So lots to talk about. Let's get Larry in here. What's your thoughts on Kevin Stefanski, Larry? Where are you with that? Because I think he's a great hire for the Atlanta Falcons.
I think the fact that he's won Coach of the Year a couple of times is really what's, got some Atlanta Falcons fans holding on and really, preaching the name Stefanski from the top of the mountains. My issue simply is this, and since 2020, the Atlanta Falcons have had the second most one-score games in the NFL, meaning a play here, a missed kick or a made field goal there, a made special teams play, and you could talk about this team probably still with Arthur Smith as head coach, and maybe even not only back-to-back, but maybe even 3-time division champions. That is how slim the margin is when it comes to the NFC South and to the Atlanta Falcons' history since Matt Ryan's departure in the event or in the wake of the failed Deshaun Watson trade. What I do not want is another set of rookie people who have never done the job before, with the exception of Matt Ryan, because I know he's got the bravado. He knows the organization inside and out. I think Arthur Blank, with their relationship, would lend an ear to Matt's expertise. I think him being with CBS is actually going to benefit him, because then he's getting some insider info through that gig that he can now take as, quote unquote, if he does accept the job, because he is supposed to interview tomorrow, the job of president of football operations. I'm very intrigued to see what Arthur Blank has to say at the press conference tomorrow. Long story short, though, it's Harbaugh bust for me for number 1. Number 2, it's probably not going to happen, because details that I've read today on Twitter for the better part of the day is the Giants are all in and are almost willing to do whatever it takes to get him to sign on the dotted line. At this point, I've seen rookie head coach, I've seen rookie general manager, even though I honestly believe that Terry Fontenot was given a raw deal from the very first day he was hired. He never got to pick his own coach. He was always told what to do from Arthur Blank and from Rich McKay. Arthur Smith was hired before he showed up. He had nothing to do with Raheem Morris. So the fact that he improved the roster to this point, and he's missed some, and everybody does. Nobody's going to hit on every draft pick. But given what he's had to deal with, for the most part, with the exception of the whole Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix thing, I think he's done a wonderful job. That being said, though, it's all about the wins and the losses. And if you haven't made the playoffs really since Atlanta's Super Bowl year, that's a
Yeah.
problem. I just do not want another set of a rookie head coach, rookie coordinators, rookie general manager, rookie president of or whatever you want to call it, football operations slash CEO junior. You got to get people who have done the job in the place if you want to get closer to the position. Not only that, you got to get your quarterback position situated because the people who
Bingo.
are going to win already have their quarterback situated. Just look at the playoffs as you see right now. And I even hate to use the word Bryce Young because he's 3 years from being removed as a rookie, and even half of one of those seasons having to be benched to relearn the position. But look what that did for him. You know, it's amazing what a good coach will do with a good quarterback. Look at Trevor
It
Lawrence in
is.
Jacksonville. You know, and I think that has a lot to do with it too. And I hate to be long-winded, but shorten this answer a little bit. I want to see him get a coach with experience. I need to see an offensive mind who can develop a quarterback if Michael Penix is the long-term solution. I like what you've done defensively. I wish Ulbrich could stay, but it's probably not because whoever the new coach is probably going to bring in a new regime under that. But if you just handle what you've already got, you fix the kicking issues, it looks like with Zane. If you can fix your special team issues, you are literally a kick away in 3 games from being an 11-win football team. As currently constructed, you've got to figure out what you want to do with Kyle Pitts. I hope they franchise tag him, but they probably won't. Tyler Algier is probably gone. So there's a lot of questions you got to ask or you got to answer. But if they do this right, with the way the division is set up, you can set yourself up for 5 to 8 years of goodness. Even with the money that Kirk Cousins moved before that big cap hit's going to hit in 27, you can set yourself up pretty good. But you got to be
Yes,
smart
you
with the
can.
decisions you make now.
And now, please be long-winded. This is a long-winded topic. I mean, heck, there's no other franchise in the NFL that fired their head coach, their GM, and moved their one of their CEOs. So it's a whole lot of new, and I'm with you. Bring in a guy that's got experience. I like McCarthy. I like Stefanski. Obviously, Harbaugh, we've talked about. We're both high on him, but I think we all kind of agree getting John Harbaugh isn't Arthur Blank's MO. That's what I would do. Personally, I think we all agree John Harbaugh is the guy. Pete Carroll's another name that was tossed around early, but I think his age and I think you're going to need a younger guy. I call me nuts, man. Call me nuts. But I would give Kurt Signetti a call. He is in your building as we speak, getting ready for the Peach Bowl Friday night. So travel is saved. I don't know why anybody hasn't talked about this, but call me nuts. The guy evaluates talent better than almost anybody in the sport. He's won at every single level. It's not far-fetched to think he could take this thing to the NFL. And who knows? The Raiders might do the same thing with number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. Comes right over, stays with his college coach. That'd be pretty cool. There's lots of possibilities here. I think Jeff Ulbrich will stay. I think the new coach will come in and work with a defensive coordinator like that. I hope, Larry, you are wrong in that, but you could be right. New regimen usually means change at all positions, so it's wide open, guys. It's really wide open. But I think some favorites for this job. I unfortunately think they're going to go with the hot coordinator, but that's just not what I would do. I'd go with Mike McCarthy. I'd go with John Harbaugh, or I'd go with Stefanski. Those are the 3 guys I would narrow it down and try and get one of them. Because again, unless you're going to go with the splash hire, I think Kurt Signetti would be a great evaluator of talent. I don't know if he'd be the great NFL coach, but the guy just wins, and that's an interesting name for me to talk about because I mean his demeanor, everything about him just is a winner. And look at the player he just coached to a Heisman Trophy. his character, everybody on that team. They're all about Indiana. They buy into what he has, and I just think that speaks for itself at any level of football. If guys buy in, like D'Amico Ryan and Houston, they're buying into that. That's 2 playoff appearances in 3 years with the near rookie quarterback, as you just mentioned about Bryce Young, Larry. So this thing is wide open. There's so many possibilities with the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm going to try and get Will McFadden in here next week and break it all down. And we might even have a head coach in Atlanta next week. Who knows? Depending on how fast they move. Wayne, final thoughts, and we'll get Larry final thoughts on this Atlanta Falcons topic.
Well, if they were to somehow be able to get both Sagnetti and Spagnuolo to come to Atlanta, even if things didn't work out with those two, I think they could probably open up a really great Italian restaurant, because with names like that, I would instantly go and try it out.
Signetti and Spagnolos.
Yes, downtown.
Larry, your final thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons, man.
Yeah, man, I'm as a fan that has invested so much money and time into rooting for this team. The last really, taste that we got was 28-3. And at some point, somebody has to come into this situation and turn this absolute debacle of a continuous losing mentality around. And sometimes rookies can do that. You mentioned it earlier with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. That can happen, but you cannot continue to interview name after name after name of people who have got proven, like literally got years of proven winning in their resume, and go hire the hottest new thing since sliced bread and think that that's going to be acceptable at this point. The fans are speaking up, man. A lot of them don't even want to show up anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to get this team and Mercedes-Benz back to what it was during the opening year of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, when the stadium was rocking and everybody was swag surfing, you have got to get this coach right. You've got to get your quarterback situation right. And you've got to give something for the fans to hold on to. At this point, we're seeking for hope. Don't nobody care about the draft picks at this point. We just want some hope into a season where 3 teams in our division finish the same way. And if we'd have kicked 1 field goal right way, we'd be division champs. So
division champ, win 9 wins.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it. Every single team in the division went 3-3, and 3 of the 4 teams were 8-9. Talk about mediocrity. Look, my final thought is harping just on that. Any coach that comes here has an opportunity to win and win immediately. And that has to be appealing for a young head coach who's hungry, or a guy like Stefanski, McCarthy, Harbaugh. That's got to be appealing. Hey, weak division. We got a couple quarterbacks on the roster with Cousins and Penix. You got Bates, you got Terrell, you got the second leading sack team, the best sack team in the NFC in terms of sacks per the season. So there's a lot of intrigue here in the NFC South. Atlanta, big city. They're building a battery-like structure right outside with hotels, dining, shopping. The intrigue is there. The Falcons fans want it. And I think the right hire, you can knock this thing out of the park and make this a franchise that it was when Matt Ryan was in his prime. Guys, that finishes up our Falcons talk, who they hire. Let's go to the pick 6. We're doing things a little bit differently till David Walker and Evie Van Pelt of the Rebel Walk join us. So if you like the content, always please like and subscribe at ATL Prime Sports across the board, and give us that thumbs up or that interaction. That'll help us out and keep this thing free. Let's go. Pick 6. Larry, you want your voice ready to go and do an 8 pick 6?
8.
We're going to pick all the playoffs. A pick 8. verse 8.
The pick 8. The pick 6 enough, but it's the pick 8. NFL film style.
All
Our
right.
pick 8. The best football games from college and pro. Spreads are from Wednesday today per ESPNBet.com. And we will get right into the records. Since we last saw you and spoke with you, the man leading the way, the myth, the legend himself, JJ, at 40-37. The last pick 6 that we did, he was 3-3. Tied for second, Wayne and TC at 39-38. TC went 5-1 last time we did it, as well as Wayne. He went 4-2 last time. I am trailing the rear, but not by much. It's not as much as I was to begin the month of December at 35-42. I also went 3-3 the last time. Let's start with game number 1. The game I am most intrigued about. The number 10 ranked Miami Hurricanes at 12-2 versus the number 6 Ole Miss Rebels at 13-1. The Verbo Fiesta Bowl, Thursday, 7:30 on ESPN. Tomorrow night, the college football playoff semifinal. Miami is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under 52.5. JJ, we will start with you. What do you say? Is it go Canes or hotty toddy?
Man, I want to pick hotty toddy. I do. But I think at some point, I said it against the Georgia game to Todd. At some point, I think the Lane Kiffin fiasco will catch up to Ole Miss. I think it might be this game. Miami seeking its first 13-win season in school history, which is really surprising with the prestige of that school. Two biggest keys to this game for me, guys. First, for Miami, limit the explosive plays from Mississippi. They have 88 of them on the season. That's 88 plays of 20 or more yards, ranking them 4th in the country in that category. So Miami's got to limit those. And Ole Miss, on the other hand, they must protect Trinidad Chambliss. Miami is averaging 3+ sacks per game on the season, and they lead the FBS in sacks during the regular season, and they are picking up right where they left off in this college football playoff. They're averaging 6 sacks per game in the 2 games that they have played. They got 7 versus A&M. They got 5 versus Ohio State. So they really get after the quarterback. Georgia was able to get pressure, but they weren't able to get Chambliss down. If Miami's able to get him to the ground, that's why I like him. I think they'll be able to keep contained better. Ruben Bain, boy, that guy's a force to be reckoned with. He's already got 3 or 4 sacks in the 2 games of this playoff, so he's an impact player on that side of the football. Ole Miss is the 10th best scoring offense in FBS. Miami, 4th best scoring defense, and this is going to be my theme throughout the entire pick 6. Defense wins championships. Miami covers. Miami wins. Miami's going to the national championship. Larry, get it up, baby. We got U's flying here, and I'm a hotty toddy guy, but I gotta take the Canes, man. Mario Cristobal, he's got this team playing great, and Carson Beck, he's got experience in these situations in big time games. He's a veteran. Carson Beck and the Canes, I like them to cover the points. Wayne, what you got?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Canes myself because I feel like they've got momentum from the end of the season, and much as I would like to see Ole Miss win this and maybe even win the national championship, I think there's too much pieces in turmoil right now in Ole Miss still, and we'll see what they do. This will be probably the only game that I will cheer for every touchdown, field goal, or extra point for either team because I really like both of these teams, and either one going to that championship would be cool. But I'm going to have to pick Miami for the pick 8.
I like it, Wayne. I like it. Y'all already know I'm picking Miami, and a lot of the reasons is pretty similar to what JJ has already stated, but the main reason is the defensive front 7 of the Miami Hurricanes, led by what we like to call Bane and the Joker. Those 2 on the corners, on the defensive end front for Miami, have wreaked havoc since really the last couple of games of the regular season, all the way into the first 2 games of the college football playoff against extremely mobile quarterbacks and extremely accurate quarterbacks. And I think the matchup that they had with Texas A&M is really what's going to prepare them mightily for the game that they will have against Ole Miss. Ole Miss has speed everywhere. They have speed at the quarterback position, speed at several wide receiver positions, speed at the tailback position, speed and height on defense. You saw Ole Miss bat several balls of Gunnar Stockton's down during the game between them and Georgia. That is something I know Carson Beck will pay attention to in the film room. I think he feels like he should have been vindicated as a lack of respect to when he was a member of the Georgia Bulldogs. But I believe it will be Michael Irvin on the sideline again with a jersey of any Ole Miss person he wants, and he will bring out the belt, and you will begin to see BTA. Miami goes on to play for the national title. Miami covers, Miami handles business. Let's move on to game number 2, the other half of the Final Four.
One second, Larry. We'll get Todd's pick. I got Todd's picks here. Todd is picking Miami to cover as well, so we all went Miami there.
All right, TC's going with the Canes as well. Moving to the other half of the Final Four in the college football playoff, the number 5 Oregon Ducks, 13-1. versus the number 1 team in the nation. And who would have thought we would ever say this in our lifetime? The Indiana Hoosiers at 14-0, right down the street at Mercedes-Benz in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Indiana's favored by 3.5. The over under 47.5. It will be Friday night, 7:30 on ESPN. Wayne, we'll start with you, man. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to take Indiana to cover on this one. I just don't think I've seen a college coach recently who is so no nonsense and straightforward with how he does everything. And, I understand that he has a whole different outlook on how practices should go and how his staff should come to work and when they should go home. And if you ever get a chance to watch an interview with him talking about that, it's something else. So just based on him alone, I think Indiana's got this pretty much wrapped up.
He's going with the Hoosiers.
Hoosiers?
What did he say?
Oh, man, let me tell you who I'm going to go with. It might be surprising. Friday night, 7:30 ESPN, man, it's going to be fireworks from the get-go, but it's going to be on the defensive side of this bad boy. This might be a 2017 type ball game for both these teams. Oregon comes into this game after shutting out Texas Tech 23-0. First shutout in the college football playoffs since 2016. IU comes into this game figuring out the first round bye bug that had bitten so many teams. Their first top 4 seed to win in this new college football playoff format. Oregon's offense is one of the most explosive in the country, 9th in scoring, 38 points per game, first in explosive plays with 95 of them. IU's defense is one of the best as well. That's second best rush defense, second best scoring defense in the country, 10.3 points per game, just over 73 yards allowed on the ground per game. But here's the difference. This is the only game where Oregon has as equally powerful of an offense as they do a defense. Both these teams are top 10 in scoring defense in the country. So this is the one exception to the rule where the defenses are really close with each other. I'm taking Oregon in the points in this one. Look, there's only one team that has won the rematch again after playing in the regular season. That team was the Ole Miss Rebels, and they beat Tulane. So I'm expecting to see a bounce back of epic proportions from Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. I get 3.5 points. Indiana could win this game by a field goal, and I'm good. I don't think I'll need the points. I think Oregon outright in the upset. I'm taking the Ducks. I think they got a nasty taste in their mouth. They didn't get the bye. They got 2 wins in this playoff already. I like Dante Moore. I like the running ability of the Oregon Ducks, and I told you the explosive plays did it for me. So 2 good defenses. I think there's one explosive play that gets Oregon over the top. Give me Oregon and those points. but I won't think I'll need them. Todd is going with the Hoosiers to cover as well. So we got two Hoosiers and an Oregon. Larry, what you got?
Make that three Hoosiers. Ladies and gentlemen, I have watched the Heisman Trophy, Mr. Mendoza himself, conduct himself in not only a way that would make any institution proud, but the guy does not put his team in mistake-prone situations. He is a winner, he is a fighter, and he is a leader. He is going to handle the big bad Ohio State Buckeyes that thought that they had one of the most prolific offenses in the nation with Julian Sand, Jeremiah Smith, who has entered the transfer portal. Hopefully he'll come to the U, just FYI. They have handled the Alabama Crimson Tide, who is, quote unquote, one of the most prolific offenses in the SEC, with one of the most powerful offensive and defensive fronts in the SEC. And Coach Signetti has just literally squashed them all. They are 14-0 for a reason. He just knows how to get the best out of his players. And JJ, you're right when it comes to the rematch battle. You're absolutely right when it comes to Oregon having a prolific offense. But unfortunately, I think Indiana wins this game by 10 points. I think it's actually going to be a ball control game. I don't think it's going to be as high of an offensive output as they put against Alabama, but I do believe that it's going to be like maybe a 24-20, maybe even a 27-20 type game. I do not think it's going to be high scoring at all. I think it is going to be ball control. I think you will see a lot of punts. And I think what will happen is both teams will start picking each other apart toward the fourth quarter, and whoever has the ball last wins. And I think in this case, it will be the Indiana Hoosiers. So give me the Hoosiers for
I like it.
Miami
I like it.
and Indiana and the championship,
like
baby. Who would have said that at the beginning of the year?
Not I. I did put I did put Miami and Indiana. I did have them in my Final Four at the beginning of the year. The show we did not get a cover, but I did write that down. But I had Ohio State advancing and I had Georgia advancing because we didn't know the brackets at the beginning of the year, so you just pick 12 teams and go from there. But yeah, man, what an interesting college football semifinal we have. NFL playoffs are underway. Larry, take us away, man. Let's keep this thing going.
Absolutely. It starts with game number 1, the Los Angeles Rams. 12-5 are on the road at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, to face the team that they just faced a few weeks ago in the Carolina Panthers, division winners of the NFC South at a record of 8-9. The Los Angeles Rams are favored by 10.5. The over-under is 46.5. This game will take place Saturday, 4:30 p.m. on Fox. It is the NFC wildcard game number 1. JJ, let's start with you. What do you think, sir?
And I like the Rams. This one was really, really tough to pick for me because of the point spread. The NFC South in these situations recently, Carolina did it. The Bucks did it just 2 years ago to the Eagles. They were about 8-9, I think, 2 years ago, beat the Eagles. The Carolina Panthers have been under 500. The Saints have been under 500, and we saw, the Saints the Seahawks were under 500 and beat the Saints. We've seen that. So we've seen under 500 teams do well in the postseason as division winners, but not this time. The Rams lost to Carolina and Charlotte earlier this season. Stafford threw 2 interceptions. One was returned for 6. Carolina isn't playing well. They lost 3 out of their last 4 getting into the playoffs. Carolina's offense, 27th, 15th in defense, where the Rams are the number 1 scoring offense and the 10th scoring defense. And I'm going with defense. Rams cover. Todd has taken the Rams to cover as well. Wayne, what say you?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take the Panthers and them points because them points are looking mighty tasty. And I think the Panthers can pull it off even. I think they may come out with an overall win, but 10.5 points, I'll take them.
They have beat them before.
How about you, Larry? What you got?
I'm kind of with you, Wayne. I think the Rams win. I just don't think they do it by 10 or more points. I think the ball control aspect that Carolina loves to do with Rico Dowdle and with Chuba Hubbard is going to slow down the aerial attack of Stafford and Puka Nakua. And I don't know if Devontae Adams will be back or not yet. I think he probably is. Who knows? If that is the case, it gives Stafford another weapon to try to continue to cement his uh, so-called MVP season or MVP campaign that people have done. But Carolina's defense, people don't give them a lot of respect for that. Carolina's defense is legit when they want to play. But the key to this game for me is Carolina's running game going to be able to put up 150 to 200 yards worth of offense in a game that they basically had to do the last time they played the Rams, because they almost put up 200 yards of rushing on them. And, of course, Stafford had his couple of turnovers. Can they run the football effectively? Can they control the clock? I think they can. I think they still lose, but I don't think it's going to be about more than 10 points. So, Wayne, I'm with you. Give me the Panthers and the points.
It's a good bet, guys, because, I mean, if the Rams win by 10, you're safe. I mean, you're still
Bingo.
safe. So there we are. All right, get us to our second NFL game. Larry, go ahead. Sorry, I'm stepping on your toes there.
That would be the injury-riddled Green Bay Packers at 9-7-1 on the road at Soldier Field. I love saying that. Home of the Chicago Bears, the NFC North. Champs at 11-6. They will be playing Saturday night, 8 p.m. on Amazon Prime Video. Green Bay is favored by 1.5. The over-under is 45.5. Wayne, what do you think, man?
Well, I know up in Chicago they like to say "the Bears," but down here in the South we like to call them the Bayers, and I'm taking the Bayers on this one over the Packers. Injuries aside, I think this is a tossed-up, and I just like the Bears at home.
JJ, what about you, man?
Man, I'll go with Todd first. Todd's taking the Packers to cover the 1.5. Look, this is the third time in history we get a trilogy of this matchup in the same season. So this is very rare that these teams meet in the playoffs in their history. Both teams coming to this game on losing streaks, 2 for the Bears, 4 for Green Bay, but they kind of sat Jordan Love to get him healthy for the playoff run here. Bears have a better offense, but Green Bay's got the better scoring defense, and I'm just going with defense wins championships in this scenario. The point spread's throwing me off. I feel like the Bears should be favorite. I think they're begging you to take the Bears. They're begging you to forget about Jordan Love and how elite he is, and overall just how the Packers own the Bears in general. They split the season series. It very well came down to a Hail Mary. Could have gone 2-0 to the Packers, so I like the Packers. I think they win by a field goal. I do. Packers cover.
Ooh, go Pack, go. If my mind serves me correctly, I think each team beat each other on the road. That in itself, when it comes to the NFC North, the NFC North and the AFC North are very similar in that they play very physical, tough brands of football. And JJ, you're right when it comes to how great Jordan Love has been in the series anytime he plays Chicago. Caleb Williams, I'm going to give him credit. The last
Great
four
season.
games of this, the last 4 games of this season, man, Ben Johnson has unlocked something in him, and he has absolutely been outstanding. His running game has helped him with the rookie from Rutgers as well as DeAndre Swift. I don't know if he'll be able to have Roma Dunze back, but DJ Moore is stepping up, so it gives him some weapons to use. But I just feel like with the loss of Micah Parsons to the Green Bay defense, I feel like Green Bay has really got something that they really want to play for. I think Matt LaFleur has probably done one of his best coaching jobs since he's been there. I do believe that Green Bay does cover these points. I'm with y'all. Um, I just, it's so tough for me to pick this game only because of one simple fact. And I'm going gut this time instead of knowledge. And my gut said it's Green Bay, so I'm going Green Bay.
I like
Let's
it.
keep it
It's a
moving.
tough one to pick, man. And the thing that got me over was, Christian Watson, Reed, these guys are gonna wake up. They got Kraft at the tight end position. Yeah, they're beat up, but LaFleur's been here before. They dominate, and this is Caleb Williams' first time. But Luther Burden is a key here. He really came on strong at the end of the year too, as that second receiver as Odunze went down. So they got a trio of receivers there. If Odunze can give it a go. Guys, exciting playoffs, man. We still got some more to pick. Go ahead, Larry. This has been fun, man, and you're doing a great
It
job.
has been. Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's keep it going to the AFC wild card, the first of two, or really the first of three. The Buffalo Bills, led by the MVP Josh Allen at 12-5, head down to Everbank Stadium, Jacksonville, Duval, home of Cartersville, Georgia's own Trevor Lawrence. 13-4 are the Jaguars under first-year head coach, and we won't even go all into the depths of that, but they will be playing Sunday at 1 on CBS. Buffalo is favored by 1.5. Another pick 'em, if you really want to call it that. The over-under, 52.5. They expect this to be a pretty high-scoring affair. Wayne, I will start with you, sir.
Well, I've been a kind of a fan of the Jaguars for some time now, and this is probably their best chance to go pretty far in the playoffs. So I'm picking the Jaguars to beat the Bills. The Bills, just like the what is that, Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're not quite as good as they were in the past couple of years. So I'm taking Jaguars.
JJ, what
Ooh,
is TC picking?
Todd is taking the Bills to cover the 1.5 on the road.
And how about you, sir?
Myself, man, this one was tough. This one was really tough to pick for me. This was the hardest game to pick of the entire slate. These next two, actually, the last two pretty easy for me, but these two, these were the toughest. These I spent the most time going back and forth on them. The Jags have got to stop the NFL's best rushing attack. Bills average over 159 per game on the ground. Jags 7-2 at home this year. One of the best teams at home in the NFL. That's why it's key that this game is in Duval. And I think that might be the advantage. The Bills have struggled on the road. They're 5-3 on the road this season, including a loss right here in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And the Jags are just the hottest team in football. They've won 9 in a row. They came back from 27 down a couple of years ago to win a playoff game. So Trevor Lawrence has been here before, been on this stage. I don't think the lights are going to be too bright for him. Give me the Jags in that 1.5. This could be a single point ball game in favor of the Bills, and I'd get the cover there. But I like Jags. I like the new coach. I like Trevor Lawrence. I like what they've done defensively. This is the only game where I'm not going with the where I'm going. Another game where I'm going. Excuse me. Another game where I'm going with the better defense. Jags better scoring defense than Buffalo. I'm going with the Jags.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I'm picking Jacksonville. A, hottest team in football. B, Trevor Lawrence has been unlocked under this new head coach. I mean, he's always had the skill. He's always been a winner. He's a state champion in football. He is a national champion in college football. He is well on his way to being a Super Bowl winning quarterback as well, unlocking the trifecta. He's a winner. Josh Allen is still the MVP. James Cook, the leading rusher in the NFL this season. But that being said, if this was in Buffalo, I would be going with Buffalo. But because it is in Florida, speed, the weather's going to be pretty decent. I think this is going to be a track
Humidity.
meet, man. I think this could be literally a 30-27 type game or a 31-28 type game, you know. So
I, I'm
give me
I'm
the
predicting overtime.
Jaguars.
I like it, Larry.
I
I'm
wouldn't doubt
predicting.
it,
I'm
man.
with you. I think it's going to be a 40-40 game going into overtime. I think there's going to be like 90 points scored in this one. I really do.
Yeah.
Bet that over. I think this will be a high octane. I think this will be more. I think this. I'm going to go out and say it, guys. I think this will be the most entertaining game of the weekend.
Oh, by
Could
far.
be.
So we'll
By
go ahead. Go ahead with number
far.
6. We got three, including the last 8 games.
Yeah, this one was the toughest one for me to pick. It is the San Francisco 49ers, 12-5 on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles at 11-8. Sunday, 4:30 p.m. on Fox. It is another NFC a wild card, the third of 3. Philadelphia is favored by 4.5. The total for the over/under 44.5. JJ, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. This was the toughest. I told you these were the tough two. The Jags were made it a little easier because they're better at home. This one, both teams, very similar road and home records. In fact, the 49ers are one of the best road teams in the NFL. Yeah, I go, oh, geez, okay, they travel, but they're traveling across the country. The Eagles are 11-6. They kind of slumped into the playoffs. They won a weaker division this year. All these things point to 49ers, but the 49ers are beat up again. Kittle's hurt. Purdy, playing a little hit, but they still got Christian McCaffrey. The 44.5 tells me this is going to be like a slugfest of a game. Eagles fifth best scoring defense, allowing just over 19 points a game. San Francisco top 10 offense, over 25 points a game. Fifth best passing attack in football. 49ers offense is clicking right now. They've scored 37 points per game in 3 of their last 4, but man, this is what I hung my hat on, and it's been my theme. The Eagles have the better defense. Defense is too much. They're holding opponents in the last 3 of the last 4 weeks to 0, 12, and 18 points. So they got a shutout in there. Yeah, it was against the Raiders, but still an NFL ball club you're shutting out. I like the Eagles to cover. This one was really tough. I'm going the Eagles to cover at home, even though the Niners are a great road team, and TC's taking the Niners in the points. So you can kind of go. We're both conflicted on that. We'll go. We'll go with. I went with the home team and the defense.
I got you. I got you. Wayne, what about you, sir? What do you say?
Man, I like the 49ers in this one. I just think they're going to go in there and take back what the Eagles took from them a few years ago. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'll take the 49ers and the points.
Hey, not a bad pick at all. What it came down to for me after about a good hour of deliberation was the interior defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm telling you now, you can say this how you want to, but the Bulldog duo in the middle of Jalen Carter and Jonathan Davis has wreaked havoc on running games all season long. With Purdy not being able to have his, what I call his line of safety security blanket, and George Kittle, with the defense still missing Fred Warner, the engine, the soul of that 49er defense. And plus, it's at Lincoln Financial Field with probably the most rowdiest fan base in the NFC. I finally just had to say, you know what? Screw it. Jalen Hurts is proven they are the Super Bowl champs until somebody defeats them. Sirianni has proven that he can coach in crazy environments. Give me the Eagles, baby, to handle business at Lincoln Financial Field. We'll move right along. Number 7, the Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert and the other Jim Harbaugh having his final time to go out and show what he's made out of. But he's got to go on the road to the MVP leading candidate House, Drake May, and the New England Patriots at 14-3. This is the Sunday night game of the week that will be on NBC and Peacock. New England is favored by 3.5. The over-under is 46.5. And I'll start with this one here. I ain't going to take long to do it. But give me the Pats, baby. Give me the Pats. Let me tell you something. When you got the buy-in that how in the world the Falcons ever let Mike Vrabel leave Flowery Branch without a contract, I will never ever know. But that's neither here nor there. But the way he and Josh McDaniels have really set up this New England team, Drake May's MVP, Stephon Diggs looking like he's playing like he's 21 years old. Trayvon Henderson is running like he comes straight up out of college all over again. He, I, I can't even remember a time where I've ever seen a quarterback in the NFL finish with not one, but two games where he had over a 90% completion percentage after attempting more than 15 passes in each of those two games. It's bananas. What it tells me is that Drake May knows how to put his team in position to complete passes, move the chains, keep first downs, which equal touchdowns. And unfortunately, look, Herbert's a great quarterback. Harbaugh's a good coach. It's just not meant for prime time. Give me the Patriots, baby. The Pats gonna continue to move on with this train in the AFC. JJ, what say you?
Yeah, this is the easiest one to pick for me, man. Patriots cover. I think this one's a blowout. I think this is the only game that's not really worth watching. Now watch it come back and bite me in the ace. But let me tell you, Drake May, AFC's leading passer, Patriots, fourth best defense in terms of scoring. That was enough for me. 46.5 under. I'd take the under in that. I think you're going to see like a real like a 30-10. I'm serious. I think the Patriots at home, cold weather, coming from LA, see ya. Outdoor stadium, no way. Jim Harbaugh has zero chance in this game. Justin Herbert, as I mentioned, has already blown a 27-point lead in a playoff game. Easiest one for me. Vrabel gets his first playoff win in Foxborough. Easy. Todd is taking the Chargers and the points, which is shocking to me, but he's a Harbaugh fan. I see why. They can run the football, he said, and he likes Herbert in this situation under his coach Jim Harbaugh. So he's taking the Chargers and the points.
The Chargers, Wayne. Chargers with the Bolts or fly America's old glory with the Patriots?
Man, I'm going to have to go with the Bolts on this one. And it's a strategic thing. I don't want to get into too much detail, but I'm picking the Chargers.
Strategic, and he goes with the Bolts. The
I
Fighting
like it,
Dan Falcons, baby. He's going with the Fighting Dan Falcons and Kellen Winslow's. Our final game of the AFC slate. It's D'Amico Ryans' Houston Texans at 12-5 on the road at Acrisure Field, Pittsburgh, PA. The 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. Houston is favored by 3, not even a hook, a straight 3 points. Hint, hint, hint. The over-under is 39.5. This is the Monday night game, 8:15 p.m. on ESPN. Wayne, let's start with you.
Man, the Steelers have got some Memphis connections up there, so I'm going to have to go with the Steelers because I expect Gainwell to have a great game. And I hope Arthur Smith shows what he's got on the offense there and can overcome what the Texans bring.
Not a bad pick, JJ. Talk to us. What do you say?
I'm going with the Texans to cover in this one. Better defense. Yeah, they're on the road, but I think they're the better football team. Steelers kind of took advantage of a weaker AFC North this year. I do believe C.J. Stroud has been good enough with the football this year to win games, 19 touchdowns. You'd like to see more there, but only 8 interceptions. So in 17-game season, he's pretty taking care of the football pretty well. And look, they're the second hottest team in football right now. Don't look, but they've won 8 in a row too. So C.J. Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, I think they travel on the road to the Steelers. Good weather, bad weather, cold weather, doesn't matter. I think Ryans is going to have his football team ready to play. And C.J., he's played in some cold weather too up there at Ohio State. So I don't think it'll bother him too terribly much. Give me the Texans to cover those 3 points. And TC did the same thing. Texans cover.
Yeah, make that a sweep for us 3 because Pittsburgh literally is a missed field goal from not even being in this position anyway. Look how field goals can affect your whole entire season, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud has been an excellent game manager all season long. He has not put his team in position to be playing behind the chains nor behind the scoreboard, as he has been able to manage things and keep it well. The running game has been precise. The defense has played with their hair on fire, attacking on all three levels: defensive line, linebackers, and defensive backs. I won't go into any more. Give me the Texans, round them up, rodeo, and let's buck them on out. You're going to probably have the Texans at the Patriots next week. That's going to be must-see TV. So we'll call it a day. So JJ's got the recap. It'll give you what everybody else has done, tell you how it went down for the total 8. That is our Pick 6 segment with 2 bonus games since we are in the college football playoffs, as well as the opening round of the NFL playoffs. 2026 is underway. JJ, back to you.
Yeah, what a so Wayne, I didn't hear who you caught there. You went Texans as well?
No, I want Steelers.
Steelers? Okay,
We went
you went
Steelers. The
Steelers.
3 sweepers for us.
Okay, Steelers plus the points there at home. Not a bad pick, Wayne, because the Steelers historically at home in the playoffs are pretty good. I just reached out to see if TC could reach out to Evie or David, so we'll give it a couple minutes. We'll let's just talk about this college football, these 2 games coming up in general, real quick, guys, and our thoughts on the college football season so far. And kind of everything to go with it. I mean, what a great season. No blue blood is in this Final Four. You got Indiana, Oregon, 2 Big Ten teams going at it. An ACC team, which, according to many, one on this show, I'll throw them under the bus. I'll have some fun with it. Todd said the ACC wouldn't even be there. Look where they are now. So then you got Ole Miss with one hell of a story with Lane Kiffin dipping on out and trying to poach players, and Joe Cox, this guy, that guy, all gone to LSU, handling 2 jobs. It's just been an incredible college football playoff season. You had a bunch of blowouts, as you always do. That's why I'm all about expanding this thing to 16, and that's where we'll start, guys, and we'll give it a couple minutes here on that. What do you guys think about the expansion next year, the possibility of that, guys? And we'll have a little fun discussion. Larry, your thoughts real quick.
Yeah, man. I think whether it's 12 or 16, I think the process of selecting who gets in and who doesn't needs to go back to a BCS type format where top 12 teams, regardless of where you're at the end of the championship week, top 12 teams, you're in. Point blank, period. Strength of schedule means something. Opponents mean something. Conference champions mean something. Right now, the way they do it is too many variables, too many political. Slide some things up under the table can get you in. Because truth be told, and I've said this on the jump, Alabama did not deserve to be in the college football playoffs, but yet and still they made it. Go figure, So the way
They did win a
Texas
game,
have been
though.
Man, get out of here with that mess, man. Listen,
Well, they avenged their
the
loss. That means something. They did avenge a loss in the regular season, though.
in the BCS format, after Alabama lost to Georgia, they would have never qualified to even be in the playoff. They would
Agreed.
they would have been the first team on the outside looking in. Conversely, though, the problem with that kind of thing is Notre Dame would have been in. So you would have literally swapped Notre Dame for Alabama. James Madison and Tulane would have never sniffed the floor, which they never should have anyway. I'm sorry, y'all that are James Madison fans and Tulane fans, but there is no way in the world, not even in a video game on Heisman mode, that either one of your 2 teams would have gone to Ole Miss and won, and would have gone to Oregon and won. It just wasn't gonna happen. And unfortunately, thanks for playing our game. We got some nice parting gifts for you. Go back to your campuses and have fun.
Well,
two spots that could have went to somebody else who could have been more competitive.
Yeah, I'd say where Tulane really shines, and probably going to be the same this year, is in basketball. I've never really thought of them as much of a football team school, but who in the American Conference could you consider a football school?
Yeah, guys,
This is when
let
it
me
comes
tell
to
you something.
basketball.
Yeah, well,
I, I'm all for the group of fives getting in. I've said it before. I'll say it again. We got 12 teams. We might as well make it 16. If we make it 16, everybody's happy. That means Tulane gets in, JMU gets in. You still get your Notre Dame. You still get your BYU. You still get your Vandy. You still get your Texas, and all those brands are pretty much in, and everybody's happy. That's the way you do it. You expand it, you open it up. Now, next year, they did make a rule. They already made that rule with Duke winning. They did not want to see JMU get in that thing. They did not. So next year, in Duke's instance, if there's a 5-loss conference champion in the Power Four championship games, buddy, they're getting in next year. So they already did that rule. So Duke would have qualified for the college football playoffs this year, and they would have filled in where JMU would have gone. And who did JMU play? Oregon. So they would have traveled
yeah.
out there to Oregon to play in that game. So that would have been very interesting.
Yeah. So what you're saying is no matter who would have gotten in under that, they would have gotten beat by Oregon.
Yeah, pretty much. They would have had the reward of going out and beat by Oregon. But it's very intriguing. I can't wait to see what they do in the offseason, if they do expand or if they stay put at 12 until because remember, folks, next year, who called it 4 years ago when all this stuff happened? The Pac-12 is still here, and they got 8 football members, and they're going to play football next year. So we're going to have the Pac-12 come back in, or Pac-8, or whatever the heck you want to call it. They're going to throw a wrench into this mix, and they're going to say, hey, we're still Oregon State. We're still Washington State. We've had some football success here as well, and we deserve to have a Power 4, Power 5 conference like it was originally brought in as a Power 5 conference. So this is going to be really an in-depth discussion between all conference commissioners next year. That's going to be real fun. Guys, any final thoughts? Then we'll get into our true final thought, and we'll get out of here. It looks like Evie Van Pelt and David Walker from the Rebel Walk, they were traveling to the Fiesta Bowl, so they may be confused on time zone changes, and they also may have just gotten busy with the media
are just worn out. I mean, they got to be.
It could be.
I mean, think of the tidal wave of excitement around that team and everything now. So they're
absolutely
back. Their slate is probably full.
Yeah, and they may have had a media priority that they had to come on. Could have had a breaking news for Rebel Walk in the Ole Miss world. So we'll see. But guys, you guys want to finish that up or get into our final thoughts? Yeah, let's get to the final thoughts. Hey guys, Larry, you good?
All right.
I'm good.
All right.
All right, let's get into it, guys. Well, Larry, let's start it off, man. Tee it up, our final thought of the night, man. Go ahead. I think we might have the same one. It's Atlanta Hawks related.
You better believe it. In a million years, the second best ever Hawk, maybe third, to ever suit up, requested a trade out of the city. Not because he wasn't any good, not because he was hurt or injured, not because he didn't want to be here, but because Ratchet, no knowledge having busted up, trust none, disgusted fans literally pushed him out of town. It was Al Horford 2.0, to the point to where out of all the places in the world he could choose to go, he wanted to go to the Washington Wizards. Let me tell y'all something. It always goes, it seems to go, but you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And I understand you want to try to play behind Jalen Johnson, and he's great. He's been putting up triple-doubles left and right. You got all of this newfound talent all around you. But the key to the Hawks being where they are ain't got nothing to do with Trae Young. It's number one, they ain't got no size. Number two, Quinn Snyder cannot coach this squad. Number three, you got to quit being fair weather fans in this city to somebody who has put this city on his back from the day he showed up at the Emory Complex. He has been ATL from day one, and I hate that he's going to be gone, and the trade probably going to take place as soon as this game against New Orleans is over with. Trae Young, from this guy on the ATL Prime Sports, Thank you for everything that you ever did for the city of Atlanta. We wish you well. I hate that you won't be here because I know you love this city, and you cannot find 30 points and 10 assists a game growing on trees.
Well said. I am on the not the opposite end of the spectrum because I understand how good of a player Trae Young was and what he meant to this franchise for the last 8 seasons. So I'm not going to say, oh, we're better off. I think the Hawks just couldn't figure it out with him in house. And their record the last couple of years is when he's off the floor, they have been better for some reason. And that is just head scratching. So I agree with you, Larry. I think it's something to do a little bit with the coach and the front office, the offense and the scheme that Trae has been a part of. I'd love to see him part up with someone. I was hoping this could be a, hey, you help us, I help you. We trade you for Giannis straight up, and boom, Giannis helps Atlanta. Jalen Johnson has Giannis to grow on, and the Milwaukee gets the point guard they've been wanting since Dame left again. So here we are. But hats off to Trae Young and a wonderful career here. Looks like it will come to an end shortly. But I just hope what comes back to Atlanta projects them higher up and makes them a better ball club, makes them more exciting to watch, maybe a little better defensively, and we'll see. But yeah, we are on the same page in that, Larry. Hats off to Trae Young. He is an exciting player. The logo threes, that was Trae Young, and the 40-point games, the 20 assists, bye-bye. And you'll never see a player really in Atlanta like him again. So hats off to Trae Young. Thanks for everything you did here in Atlanta. I hope it works out for you wherever you land. And if we decide to keep the guy, hey, I hope we can figure it out. But I think it looks like it is coming to an end. Wayne, your final thought, man.
Well, my final thought is going to be directed towards whoever did the scheduling for the Final Four in this college football playoff. I am extremely glad that you decided to put that on 2 different days, Thursday and Friday, because it's getting to the point now to where if I watch more than 2 football games in a day, I'm worn out from watching it and cheering and yelling at the referees. So thanks for having those on 2 different days.
Yeah, and you'll get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, playoff football. So I think that's why they did it. They were pretty smart in recognizing that off the rip. Well, guys, that ends it. It looks like David Walker and Evie Van Pelt did have media priorities out there in Tempe, Arizona. So we will catch up with them momentarily. You can catch everybody at the Rebel Walk for them and at Evie Van Ole Miss Evie on X for Evelyn Van Pelt, and at David Walker quarterback for David Walker, former Texas A&M quarterback and current Rebel Walk contributor. You can catch those guys on Twitter. For Wayne in Memphis, Larry in Adairsville, Todd up in the Woodstock area for a couple more months. And thanks for listening. Again, if you like the content, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, react on Twitter, react on YouTube, wherever you catch us. And just Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to be back, guys. We'll see you next week. Get you one. Bye.